Alright, I'm back and I want to show a few steps of what I've done here. Now, what you see is I have a battery connected up. I've already got my power distribution board, everything underneath here. This is the naze on the top. I have all my wires coming out from the power distribution board. I've got one that's the 5 volts, will be running the naze, and my satellite will be off of that. You can see that connection. Here's the 12 volt, which will be, these are two different plugs, so I don't get them mixed up. I've written on there 12 volt, 5 volt. 12 volt will run my video and camera setup, and I like to have it separated so I can just take everything off video, mess with the quad, and then plug everything in and I'm ready to rock. So what I've got here are the Bell BLHIs, DYS, the speed controllers. These are 20 amps. And I've got everything run out the back here, all my wires. Actually, these are out toward the front because of the direction of the naze board and all my connections. Anyway, everything is soldered up here, so I want to tell you what I've done here. What I've done is I flashed all the ESCs. I made sure that these were updated to 14.4 Bell Heli or BL Heli. The power is plugged up right now, and that's because I just finished programming these. Now, what you need is this little programmer stick, USB linker. You want to make sure, I made a mistake and I purchased the V2. This will work with their V2 different ESCs, which are their newer ones. You don't want that. You do have to have this one here. It's just their standard. It's the version 1. I have downloaded their software here, and once you link in, I didn't have much of a problem as long as I had the correct USB reader. And then you go over here and choose which one at the top that you link into, and I chose the bootloader and Arduino USB linker, and that's what got me into this. Once I plugged up my linker and then plugged the power in, and I plugged each ESC in correctly, I went into the setup and I said read setup, and it tells you that we're connected, and it wasn't very hard. Now, most of these settings I left the same. What I did do is dampen. Let me see here, dampen light. You can see it right there. It says dampen light. This is a great thing to put into your quads. Many of the ESCs may have this already set up in them, but what that means is it applies brake to the motor. It doesn't freewheel the motor when you want to throttle down. So what happens is you get a better control when you want to drop under a limb or do anything like that. When you bring your throttle down, it drops the motors quickly to the RPM you want. So you get this really smooth drop and throttle back up because you don't get this lag of it's freewheeling and then you jam back on the throttle to stop it. So it's a really cool setup. Other people are going to say, oh yeah, I already know that. I know how it works. Yeah, you should have been doing that. Well, I figured it out, and I want to show you what I do here. This is a servo tester power. I power my servo tester when this is powered, and I love to use this. I set up motor direction as well as I can set up and check my throttling of my motor. So you can hear that braking action in there. It wants to stop. It does not freewheel. Anyway, so I just wanted to show you on the ESCs how I do it. I do a servo tester. I test each one of these setups. Then I install it onto the quad, and they're ready to go in the direction that they go. And then I'm programming my ESCs. So my next phase now is I'm going to go in and get my naze all set up and know its direction and everything else in the computer, and I'll show you how to do that. Once that happens and I got that all set up, then I will show you all the things in there. But anyway, we're building the QAV210. It's a really sweet setup. I've built a good amount of these, and I love going through the steps so other people do not have to do all the puzzling. Anyway, well, on to the next step.